to educate, those who are listening who may want to fight, like what a diet look, what was the actual diet looking like for you?
Diet. So I think I had kind of like three different ways I did my diet throughout my career. So up till about 2000, no, yeah, about 2012, 2011, I just ate healthy and I ate a lot of food. So people don't know this, but like I fought most of my career at middleweight, and people always thought I was big for middleweight, but I was actually not. Weight wise, I was, significantly less than the other guys. So I would I would have to lift weights and eat as much as I could to be around 192, 194 pounds through most of my career. And I could eat a big giant pasta meal the night before weigh-ins and still make weight, no problem.
Man,
So
I gotta
yeah.
keep the weight off. I gotta do a whole bunch of exercise to keep the weight off, man.
Yeah, uh so I mean I ate healthy, but I ate a lot of food and uh worked hard to keep my muscle mass. And then that was up to so then 2011 till about 2013 I was trying to cut down to 170. And so initially I tried just the traditional uh counting your calories diet where I had a dietitian and everything, and it was it was healthy in one sense in that like I was getting everything I needed, but it wasn't healthy in another sense where after I made the weight, I was in great shape and everything, but after I made the weight, my hormones were messed up, so I was like so hungry, and I'd eat and eat and eat, and I'd be completely stuffed, but I still had this feeling of hunger, where like literally I could just eat more, even when even when my stomach hurt. So there was a hormone imbalance because I had basically starved myself, not getting enough calories with such intense training. You need,
Yeah.
and plus I already had a high metabolism, so when you're cutting your calories down based on whatever the FDA or whatever your dietitian says, I was getting way less calories than I needed even to cut weight. So that being said, so I think I did that way for about a year or so, year and a half maybe, and then I was turned on to my buddy Keith Jardine told me about a diet called the Bulletproof Diet. It's a guy named Dave Asbury. Oh,
Hmm.
excuse me.
Huh?
Sorry. And he came up with this diet that's based on low inflammation. And so um, essentially, you don't count calories. You eat a high fat, high protein, low carbohydrate. Uh, that's to get your inflammation down, but it also helps with the weight of course, like low carbs. And then just as important is the types of food that you eat, which which would be like, and I would say even more importantly, um, so you cut out all grains except you can have some white rice. You cut out all artificial ingredients, dyes, artificial sweeteners, anything like that, preservatives. So you don't eat boxed stuff, canned or packaged stuff.
Hmm.
And then you also cut out refined sugars. And so, but I mean, yeah, but the biggest thing for me, which I've realized over the years, is when I cut out the grains, when I cut out wheat and corn are the two biggest. Also, a little bit of legume, like beans. Um, those are kind of inflammatory for me. And then uh, what else? Oats. Oats are another one, which aren't in a lot of stuff, but corn and wheat is like in everything, especially
Yeah.
in America. So if you literally just cut out like eating candy and eating wheat and corn, most people would have a huge like benefit to their health, both in like if they're obese, I think they would go down even just from those two things, and but also inflammation. The reason I know for a fact that inflammation is was lowered significantly because for years since I've been like 18, 19 years old, 20 years old, somewhere around there, I remember just training so hard that every day I would get up and I felt like an old man when I woke up. My knees would hurt, my ankles would hurt. Um, it's just like everything, every joint hurt. And then after I moved for a while, then I would start to feel okay. Um, but then it was like, you know, as you get a little older in your mid 20s and then your 30s, it's worse and worse. But for sure, like every time I woke up, it the pain in my ankles and knees, I had to like hobble to the bathroom.
Ooh.
Well, so once I got on this diet, you know, and the inflammation kind of gradually clears out of your body, and I didn't even realize uh, that you know this had happened. But then there was one day where we cheated on our diet and we had a bunch of, I don't know, pizza or something with wheat in it, and then that night I had to go to the bathroom. And I woke up and I was like, oh I'm like an old man again. And I realized like, oh, it's because we cheated on the diet, and I didn't even realize that that had happened where that pain left because it was gradual, you know. So it's kind of crazy. So now, I mean, I'm more strict on that. Like once in a while, I will have something with wheat in it, or I'll have some candy or whatever. But um, for sure, man, your diet is a huge thing